Soon after my Facebook review video of Crushing It by Gary Vee, I got a request to do a review for a book that is close to my heart. You see, my husband is an orthopedic surgeon in one of the main COVID-19 hospitals in Malaysia. You guessed it right, it is Sungai Buloh Hospital. This is Emersion, Transcending the Tide by the Postgraduate Society of the Sungai Buloh Hospital. Emersion is a personal look into the challenges and struggles faced by the doctors, nurses and staff of Sungai Buloh Hospital during the ongoing COVID pandemic. Dr Kudit Kaur, the hospital director, led the team that compiled the memoirs of some of the healthcare workers, a magnificent letter by Tang Sri Dr Noor Hisham Abdullah, the Malaysian health DG, who is a bit of a celebrity these days, never before seen photographs, and drawings made by children sick with COVID. Truly inspiring stuff. What I found most touching is that the names of every member of staff involved are listed in the appendix, highlighting the many men and women who battled against COVID. Flipping through the pages brought back memories of the late nights when I was shaken out of sleep by the sound of my husband getting up and pulling on his scrubs to rush off to the hospital and operate on COVID-positive patients. I put on a brave face at the door when I said goodbye to him and reminded him to drive safe. Then I stayed awake for hours, praying that he would be okay. I was wrapped in my blanket. He was wrapped in a plastic spacesuit in a room filled with an invisible enemy. It struck me that perhaps that's how families feel when the soldiers go to war. But the worst part for me is that this enemy, the coronavirus, is one that we cannot aim and shoot at. The coronavirus is invisible. Most healthcare workers in Malaysia are no strangers to COVID-19. As a lifestyle medicine physician, I answered some questions about it by Revati Murugapan from the Star some time ago. But as the only fully COVID hospital in Malaysia, the Sungai Buloh experience is unique and is documented in this book, which makes it a valuable read for the average Malaysians looking to relive the heroic tales of the COVID fighters, which my husband's team calls the Covengers, and to dig deeper into the horrors of watching fellow Malaysians die of COVID. The book is equally valuable for the medics of the future, looking to learn how one hospital dropped everything to lead Malaysians through the stormy sea of COVID-19. The heroes are not just the doctors. Nurses and paramedics were roped in to man the battle stations. ICU workers fought hard to keep desperately ill patients alive. Even the engineers were called in to transform the hospital into a place where COVID-infected patients could be treated safely without spreading the infection to everyone else. Lab workers worked till their eyes bled, running tests. The kitchens rolled out meals to sustain everyone until the fridges were all empty. It was chaos. If you think this sounds like I was describing a war, you are right. It was a war. The sad thing is that this war is still going on. I'm reminded of this every day as my husband goes to work. Emersion, this book, tells the story of the generals of this army, the infectious diseases and the intensive care specialists who treated the sickest COVID patients in Malaysia, the nurses who held the hands of people dying of COVID, people you and I will only ever know as numbers on a picture in a WhatsApp message telling us how many cases there were today, how many people died. Immersion tells the story of the women and children's doctors who saved babies fresh from the wombs of their COVID-infected mothers, orthopedic surgeons and other surgeons who performed emergency operations on the desperately ill. In short, it's a gripping and moving book. Emersion shows us how powerless we are in the big picture of things and how much we depend on the God that created us. Immersion shows us sometimes it is necessary for us to step back and think before we make the big decisions that will shape our lives. And how strong, decisive leadership is vital to the success of any plan. and how between the moments that define life and death, we can find purpose. Emersion is not available in bookshops and can only be bought directly through the link below. It costs 150 ringgit. Now, while I promote reading, I don't usually directly promote buying or selling a particular book. Emersions, however, is being sold by Sungai Buloh Hospital to raise funds to continue the fight against COVID-19, which is a worthy cause in my book. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please let me know how I can improve in the comments below. See you next time. I'm Yvonne from The Lighter Path. Thank you for watching.